Hey guys, well, welcome to this next live stream. Today, I have a very special guest, Melody Jones, who I've actually known for many years. And she is one of the sweetest and nicest and most professional and experienced people I've ever met when it comes to social media. So, Melody, hello.
Well, hello, and thank
So,
you. And I didn't know it had been years either.
yeah,
It
yeah.
has.
We met
Wow.
we met through Judith Briles, I believe.
It's true. Yep, that's right. We
And
did
I've
years
known
ago.
Judith for like a decade. I mean, she is
Yes.
awesome. If you guys don't
Yes,
know Dr. Judith Briles, she's kind of a bigwig in the author and publishing space.
she
And
is.
so it's no surprise that Amber, who builds websites for authors, and Melody, who does extremely awesome social media for authors,
Right.
along with other business owners, right? I
Yes.
love that Melody is known as your social media aspirin, right? How many people like feel like this, I don't like social media, this social media headache. And so I asked her to come on to share some of her tips and strategies, because what I know about social media is that it is constantly changing, right? We think we have a beat on, I shared this one post and it got 33 likes. And then I shared the same thing again and nobody cared. Like, what is going on?
Nobody noticed. Yeah,
Yeah.
every day. Like every minute of every day is what it feels like to me. And I work in the business.
I know, it really does. And I'm especially excited to share her expertise with the world because Melody just went all in on a special project that I am kind of leading this charge with, AuthorUpLive.com. And it's a 2-day live event in just over 40 days. I cannot believe it's so soon. And it's all about launch, how to have a more significant launch, because most people, when they launch, it's a total disappointment. They don't get the results that they were hoping for. And Melody saw the registration page and she even said, I'm all in. She signed up immediately. I cannot wait to see you in person soon.
I know it'll be fantastic. Yes, I did. Right away.
Really looking forward to it. And here's what I was thinking. So Melody was all in. I know she does awesome work with social media, not just in giving strategy, but kind of helping with the implementation or management of it. She does workshops. She's a speaker. She runs a community here in Colorado. She's an early founder of the Colorado Women in Social Media. She has her own company. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, social media is a significant part of a significant launch, right? So Melody, thank you. I wanted to invite you, and I have some very specific questions that I want to ask you today.
Yes.
So that we can help these people watching to have better results with their social media.
Yep.
So let's dive right in. The first question that I have is, I know a lot of people that I talk to, they cannot stand social media. They hate it. They wish that they never ever had to do it, right, for their business, because they either feel like they don't like to self-promote, or they just feel like it's forced, or they don't want to have a big ego. They don't want people to think that, I'm just care about myself. There's like a lot of issues that people face. How can we flip that script? Because we know we have to do social media, but is there a way to enjoy it? How do we overcome that mindset obstacle so that we get better results with it?
Yes, you just hit all the pain points I would have mentioned, because I'm sitting there thinking about everything that authors, since I work with authors and writers, I say both those terms because they call themselves different things. So we say writers and authors, or authors and writers. They're interchangeable in my world. And when I ask what the issues are, that's the first thing I say is, what is it? I hear the word overwhelmed a lot. And by overwhelmed, mostly what they mean is they don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to keep up with it. They don't know what to say. I still hear that, even though social media is older now and we've had it for a while. They still say those kinds of things. And I say, so the phrase I use all the time is reset your mindset. You get to reset your mindset.
Oh, I like that.
And I wrote some things down because I didn't want to in the moment, because I didn't want to have that, amnesia in the moment. So I'm like, what is it that I tell people? And I realized as I was writing this down, I know what I tell people. And one of the first things is, see it as a conversation. You are not a used car salesman. Nobody wants to be talked to that way. That's why you're uncomfortable with it. If you're a writer and you're author and you're coming in with that mindset, well, yeah, of course you're uncomfortable. That the next thing that's huge, and I say this first off with anybody that I speak to that's really pretty new to social media, is do not overwhelm yourself with too many social media networks right off the bat.
Yes,
I say the same thing. Shiny syndrome. What do we call that? Swirl. Oh, over here. No. Pick one social media network and get good at it. One. And I mean it. I'm firm on that. Pick one. And you pick the one where your people are. So if you are a romance author, and you cater to maybe 40 and up, and it's mostly women, Facebook's a good place to be, for example. Okay. Facebook isn't the place to be for everybody. You don't know till you do a little research, but quit going to all the new shiny things. Stay with one. And that's one of the ways to reduce your overwhelm. The other one is you've got to develop a toolbox. You and I both know that tools are our friends. Social media, by the way, is only one tool in your toolbox. By the way, social media itself, right? It's just one tool. People think it's the magic bullet. No, it's one part of what you're doing. But tools are your friends. So your job, if you're coming in and you're going to manage your own social media, is to learn what the tools are. Editorial calendars, there's scheduling tools, there's things you can put into place to make it easier so that all of your time doesn't go to social media. But that being said, you still need to get on there and interact and be yourself.
Yes.
But there are tools out there to do that. And if it really comes down to it, and you think, okay, I've learned all these things and I see what the tools are, and you still are overwhelmed with it, then hire somebody.
Yes.
Just invest in it. Just invest it.
I love all of those.
You're buying your time back. Buy your time back.
Oh.
You'll love yourself.
That's true. And time is like our most precious commodity. And as you were speaking, Melody, it reminded me of two resources. So hang on.
Perfect. Okay. Yes.
I've got it right here.
We love live for this reason. Anything can happen on live. We might go off camera for a second.
Oh, shoot. Who knows what's going to happen here, right? This is my comfort zone here, Melody. So this is kind of an older book. Can't remember when it came out. Jab, 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 right hook.
Gary V.
Vaynerchuk. Yep. This book came out, I want to say like 3 years ago. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not the hugest Gary Vaynerchuk fan in the world. I think that he has some great wisdom, and there are pieces of his personality that really rub me. But this particular book is great because it actually gives you social media post examples of what people are doing right, both individuals and organizations. It explains the differences between the different social networks.
That's right.
I honestly thought this was a pretty great book. The other thing that I wanted to suggest is my team and I have been testing out a new social media tool in the past month, and we went through all of the things that were important to us and came out at the end saying, yep, we're all in. And the tool is Loomly. Loomly. So it's like a scheduling app, sort of like Hootsuite, and it sort of combines the idea of Buffer and Meet Edgar that can help suggest post content for you.
Yes.
But it's much more sophisticated, much more accurate, and has really good analytics so that you're studying what's working and what's not. So Melody,
I love it.
You are the expert, but I had to add those too.
We all have our tools that we go to.
Yeah.
I have one called Social Report that I use. That's fairly robust. It just depends on, what I or my clients might need, and it has a lot of what we call analytics in the background that you can take a look at to see, what's hitting with your audience and what isn't. And it's a great scheduling tool, and that's what I use. And it just depends. It just depends on, part of the thing I want writers and authors to remember is you've got to find a tool you'll use. Yeah. It doesn't matter how great a tool it is. If I say it's great or if you say it's great, it's not a tool that's great if you don't use it.
Yes.
So you have to use what you're comfortable with, and you might try 1 or 2 or 3 before you get to where you're comfortable. But you got to have a tool. The best social media is the one that gets posted.
Love that. I'm totally going to go Google that after this. So
perfect.
I know we all love tools, right?
Yep. That's right.
So Melody, talk to me about like the 3 things that you would have people do to get the most exposure and engagement, right? Because you hear, oh, just set up a Facebook group and have tens of thousands of people there. Or no, go out and engage with influencers and leverage their networks, or post more regular video, or obviously is what you're seeing right here. We're doing a live streaming. This is something that I feel is important for exposure and engagement. What do you think are your 3 that you'd have people focus on moving forward with the launch idea in mind too, if you can?
You know what? Here's my piece of paper with my cheat sheet. And when I was trying to write this out, because my dear friend Amber said, here's the question. I'm like, could that be a more loaded question?
I know. No pressure.
I had to narrow it down to 3. What are you saying? Okay, so I had to think it through.
This is why you have to hire Melody people.
Because I just know so many different things. What we're doing now, though, here's the truth about where social media is right now, is live is where it's at.
Yes.
People love live. Live gets the most engagement on the different platforms that offer it. And do some research, because the platform you're on that your fans like to be on may have a live component to it. Now, here's what I hear. I'm not ready. I look to whatever, insert old, fat, skinny, whatever.
My messaging isn't clear yet, you know? My website's not up yet.
No, I'm not up. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I had to, comb your hair. You know what I've done? I have slapped on a hat. Yep, my hair looks bad. We're putting on a hat that says Colorado on it. It's pink. Love that hat. Okay, because here's the thing. Fans love to interact, or at least to see you interact as a real person, and live could not get more real. Problems happen. Lighting is weird. The doorbell rings. The dogs bark. You have to go get a book. It doesn't matter. Fans actually love that stuff. You don't actually want to be, for this kind of thing, too polished. No. If you're too polished, it's a commercial. It's like a commercial to people that are watching you. So to me, live is where it's at right now. So that would be my number 1. Yeah. Yes.
Good.
And then the next one I wrote down, and this is going to sort of be more of a concept, is don't forget to entertain. I get authors that think that they only need to get on there if they have something really super important, whatever that might be, whatever the important thing is to say, is this a really important piece of information? You know what? Most of us are on here to be entertained and know the platform you're posting on, right? That's what we're doing here. So if you're on Facebook, listen, I want to see the dogs. I want to see the funny dogs. I do. I want to see funny stuff. Okay?
I'm wondering, like, how do you entertain? Because I am like, value. And I'm like,
you are.
Nuts about it. I don't know how to entertain.
Right. You have to entertain. So here's the thing. And I'm going to say humor, because humor is what I resonate with. I'll say humor is one of those things. And so there's a couple of things to remember with humor. Share something you think is funny live like this. If you find now memes, don't roll your eyes at memes. Memes are huge because they're a cultural thing. It's a pop icon cultural thing to get memes that are funny. And if people respond to things like memes, pay attention to what what's happening in the world and what the trends are. Memes are big. You don't have to create it. You just have to find it. Furthermore, if you follow a page that's super funny and you find their stuff is funny, you want to share anyway, because that's the name of the game on social, is to share. So if you think you aren't funny, but you know a page that is, share something appropriate for your audience. What does your audience like? I have a romance author I work with, and she's got some off color humor, but her fans want that. Would I put that on everybody's? No. But I know my clients and I know her people, so we put some stuff on there. They love it. Are you kidding? This is where I get the most engagement. So maybe your people love the dog videos. Maybe you can just tell a funny story of something your grandpa said. Whatever entertainment is for you. The other thing is, if you think you're not a funny person, don't go force something. Be who you are. Mm-hmm. You can still be entertaining. People just love to see personality. And then I'm going to say something on my third thing. I wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget that I wanted to say this. I say this all the time, and I'm going to take us off of social media.
Okay.
Everybody's looking at me for what's the trick on social media. Well, here's another thing I see that's a problem for a lot of introverted writers and authors is they're not out living and doing stuff.
Right.
If you're not out doing something in the world, what are you going to talk about on social media? Get out there. So this is my trick for social media. What you do off of social media is just as important for your success on social media as what you do on social media. So get out there. If you're a gardener, go live and say, here's my prize rose bush. I don't know. Even if you don't write about roses, it isn't about that. It's about being who you are to your fans. This is part of your entertainment as well, if you think about it. Get out there and interact with groups. Get out there, and if you talk to book clubs, whatever it is you need to do, and if you're not doing it, you're going to have to find that. You're going to have to find your inner extrovert. Is that such a thing? I don't know.
Totally.
Here's what people think. They think I'm an extrovert, and I'm not. On the extroversion introversion scale, I'm actually
here. I know, me too.
I'm an introvert.
100%.
100%. Here's what people don't get. If I go to an event, are you drained? Here's your trick. Are you drained by the end of the event, or are you saying, hey, are you the one saying at 2 a.m. let's go out to breakfast?
No.
If you're saying,
I am a super big introvert, people are shocked because they think you have to be an extrovert to do video or be good on video. No. And no, you know what you have to do in order to do those things? Take action. That's literally it.
Yourself. So don't confuse personality, which Amber has and I have, with extroversion and introversion, and pretend like those of us that you think are extroverted are. It's not that easy. I got nervous getting on here today, and I do this stuff.
For sure, me too.
All the time. We're both nervous. And so, hey, we get it. You still need to live life off of here. So even if you're an introvert, you're going somewhere. Are you going to the library? Maybe you take a picture of, here's my favorite library, and here's my favorite corner. You're doing something in life as an author and a writer that you can then share, and it basically informs your social media, and it goes into entertaining, like we talked about, informing, educating. So that's my third trick. Get off social media, go do something, and then get pictures. Ask people. People are happy to help. You do have to kind of document what you're doing out there and share that.
2 follow-ups, and then I'm going to ask you the next question.
Okay.
Number 1, there is a gentleman whom I have great respect for. His name is Mike Ganino, and he is a partner at Heroic Public Speaking. Mike Ganino is really big into improv. And so what I love about Mike's social media content is he will be out in the world having an experience and bridge that to his topic and then share that on social media. That's right. So something that he posted about recently was Beyonce's Netflix documentary, which is outrageous. It's so fantastic.
Right.
And so here is a music documentary on Netflix. And here is his topic about performance and speaking. And he wrote an epic post bridging the gap and sharing that. So there had the entertainment value on something that was trending that people were talking about. It tied back into his offering in a non-salesy way. So that's a more tangible idea.
Yes.
For those of you that are listening that don't know how to do that. And the other thing that comes to mind, actually also related to Mike Ganino, is improv, right? So if you are not naturally quick on your feet, you feel like I don't have much of a personality, or I don't know how to be entertaining, or, I'm just not very creative, then I encourage you to go to YouTube and search on Improv 101 or learn about improv or a few ways to get going. And I believe even if you could take an in-person workshop or a class in your local area, that environment and just learning about improv and thinking more quickly on your feet would go a long, long way in giving you that entertainment value for social media, getting you thinking about more things that you're experiencing in the real world and how to bridge that with your topic to share on social media. There's just a lot of value that I wanted to add there.
I like it.
Melody, circling into the next question, we're obviously going over 10 minutes here, folks, but if this is an awesome value, please share what in the comments below. It's important to Melody and me that we know you're there, you're listening, you're appreciating this value. So be sure to comment below. Let us know the tip or 2 or the tool or the idea that has been shared so far that was important to you, that was of value to you. Yeah. So Melody, two last questions we'll wrap up. Number 1 is, I know that in my work with authors, speakers, and coaches, whether I built a website or I've strategized on a launch or helped with their marketing, and I'm giving them advice to clients, there's always those moments where I'm like, damn, that was a good tip. Or, something that I was like, that was really exciting.
I didn't know I knew that
together. I'm wondering if there are a couple of moments that you've had with clients where you might have had a creative idea or hack that you shared with them, or maybe it's like your go-to that you always share, but what are some like random things that people could be implementing in their strategies? Just your ideas.
Well, okay, so this is something I'm pulling from real life, out in the real world as well, but also online. This is something that can work both ways. And this is a phrase I've used for several years. Collaboration is the new black.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. That I started, you mentioned I founded a group called Colorado Women in Social Media.
Mm-hmm.
We are maybe competitors, but I don't see these women as that, because even though we all work in the social media space, we get together and it's about building those relationships, and they have been highly valuable. And
love the women in that group, man.
Lots of women in that group, and some have come and gone just because they grow up so fast and then they graduate out. There you are, you know. And so I'm like, bye. People, you know, stay in touch. I feel like a parent. It's the same thing online, and one of the best things I ever saw with an author is collaborating with other. I'm going to use my romance author because she's so fun, and what she has good ideas, and we have good ideas. And one of those is to collaborate with authors in her genre. They collaborated. We talked it through, and they collaborated together. And they gave away 10 books, and I mean for free, 10 books all together. And these are women who you might think are her competition. Well, maybe, but let me tell you about the fans of romance authors. Okay, they love to discover a new author. So if you give away, and everybody coordinates and collaborates with everybody else, and you give away a really high value bunch of books, they gave away 10 books. The comments I saw come through were, oh my gosh, I didn't know you existed, and now I love your stuff. I'm going to buy all your books.
Wow.
That's my biggest tip. I don't even have anything else other than collaboration. Find a way to collaborate.
Heck yeah.
Do it online. I've seen so many successes that way. It's the name of the game.
Well, we're collaborating right now, right? And I look at my call schedule for today, and of the 3 calls that I've had before this one, all 3 of them were about collaboration.
See, that's where it's at. They're not. You can learn so much from people who you might see as competitors. And actually, most authors are really generous with other authors. You just have to reach out. They will tell you. They want you to be successful. That's where it's at. And if they don't, they're maybe not the right person to collaborate with.
You know what? Collaboration is a huge theme of our 2-day event, AuthorUpLive.com. Again, 40 days out. You got to secure your tickets. Otherwise, seriously, we are not ever going to run this event again. We have no plans to run the event again. We have no plans to sell the recordings. Like, this is it, guys. Either you want the master launch plan so that you save tons of money and brain damage moving forward, or you don't, and then, you know, that's fine. You can do it yourself somehow, some way. You'll figure something out, some plan B. But collaboration is a huge theme. So I just have to touch on it for a second, because we know that it's not just in giving you a plan, right? Because then you actually need help executing and implementing that plan.
Right.
So in the room, we are creating relationships with the other influencers in the room that can become part of your street team for your launch or other business activities. These are tremendous relationships that you wouldn't have otherwise. You just wouldn't. And there's this really cool activity that we have that we're doing at the event, where we're giving everybody a big Post-it note, and you can write down a list of all of the influencers or people that you wish you could be connected to, but you just don't even know how you would do it otherwise. So then other people in the audience will come around and say, oh, I know Tony Robbins, I'll connect you. Oh, I know Ariana Huffington, I can connect you. So that after the event, now you can get a personal introduction to the connections and influencers that you wish that you could have. And all of this is happening at AuthorUpLive.com. So I just had to do a plug, because Melody is right that when I'm looking at Mike's launch plan, I can't even talk to you about how much energy and focus has gone toward collaborative efforts and many launches leading up to his launch in March of 2020. So while I'm on the topic, Melody, and then I'll ask you the last question.
Okay.
Give me a minute on why you're so excited about AuthorUpLive.
Gosh, a minute.
I know,
you're
right?
so tough. You're so tough on me.
Why
I'll
are you
try.
so... Yeah.
Well, here's what happened. So I'm on Amber's email list. And so when this came through and I saw that it was an event and I checked it out, what drew me in right away was, well, two things. One is we get a front row seat to this launch in real time.
Yeah.
We get to see
cool?
from here to here as people that are part of this, how it really executes. You just don't get that because this is a long-term plan. I think you said 10 months.
Yes.
10 months out from this, Mike for his launch. Okay. I thought, wow, I would love to be in on from day one how this launch happens. What's the plan? What is the planning? What are the strategies?
What went wrong?
Solving? Does something not work as well as you thought?
Totally.
Because maybe it might not. So the reality in social media is you think something's going to work, it doesn't, and something you don't think is a big deal hits. You don't know. And so how can you kind of pivot? And that's what I'm looking for was how can you, so this didn't work as well, but this was fantastic. What can we do next? I'm looking forward to that. And then to walk away with this plan in hand, because that's how generous you are, which is, by the way, my last suggestion is be generous.
Yes.
And AuthorUpLive sounds, I just like so generous that I get to walk away and all the participants with this plan in hand, with all these ideas, and some will hit. I expect that some will resonate with, number 5 might resonate with somebody and 12 somebody else, whatever, because there's just all these options. And I thought there's going to be things, and I consider myself a student at all times. I'm always learning something, can you really be an expert in social media? I'm not sure. Because it's I try to sound like Ivy, but all the time there's something new that I have to learn and then pass on. And that's what this feels like, is that I get to be the student. I am going to learn new things that I can, because by the way, I'm writing a new book myself. So not only can I use this plan and this strategy for myself, but I feel like I can learn this front row and center like this. I can learn it and then help others and pass on this this generosity you have as far as here's what I've seen work. And so I'm so excited to be.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for leading with, I get to see real time how it's working, because that's actually not something that we've emphasized on the registration page, but it is a part of our plan. So the people who are in the room, we are going to give them the option to be a part of Mike's street team. And it doesn't cost anything to participate in it, but monthly, we're going to be having update calls on what's working, what hasn't worked, what we had to adapt or pivot. And to know that and be able to change your own plans accordingly. Like, I know it's crazy, Melody.
You have to adapt. You have to adapt.
You have to adapt. And that's a key word. If you are going to have a significant launch, is you have to adapt. And the last question I have for you is kind of on this vein. So many people think, oh, I'm just going to launch my group coaching program in a couple of months, or, okay, my book is published. Now I've got to launch it, tomorrow. And it's like, I'm seeing this trend of people not properly planning with enough runway, enough time to actually focus on that collaboration, to really build those relationships, to be entertaining on social media, to do all of the things that we're talking about. So what is your experience when it comes to launches? Like, what are some of the benefits of a long-term approach as opposed to just slapping some together and hoping it works? Can you do both, or is one more beneficial than another to you?
You can attempt to do a really quick launch in a couple of months, maybe. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you in terms of money, because you're really going to have to really just throw a bunch of money at a bunch of people and tools and things to bring it in such quick focus that this isn't really realistic. I mean, maybe super rich people can do that. I'm just going to throw wealth and rich out. I mean, but it doesn't. You can maybe if you want to throw thousands and thousands of dollars at it, maybe, but that doesn't create the value that you're looking for anyway. So to me, the longer term is the better way. And it's just going to capitalize on everything we've talked about here. It's going to help you build those relationships, because people, the old know, like, and trust is still relates. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. So you're going to build those relationships. You're going to build those collaborations. Some will sort of come about naturally that you hadn't thought of. There are people that you don't know that you can work with, that you hadn't thought of, but if you're just in this conversation, you'll figure it out. And so I like your term runway, because if you just think of an airplane, you can't. It's lift off. You need a little, you got to rev up, right? You got to get the speed. And you do that through long-term planning and strategy. And just like we talked about before, being able to adapt, you need some time to be able to do that, to find what really works and what really resonates with the people you're providing that value to. So the longer term strategy is where to start. And when I do, and bless them all. Okay. So when I have authors come up and say, I'm going to publish next week. So what should I do with marketing? And when should I start it? And I'll say yesterday.
I know, 8 months ago, when you got the idea for the book. Hey, here's the thing that Mike Michalowicz brings up a lot, and I love this. So he is just writing his book that we are doing the launch for.
Yes, that makes sense.
So the idea came previously. They already have the outline. They've talked through the themes. They know who their reader profile is, all of that, but they're actually writing the chapters of the book right now. Right. And even though we're doing, it'll be a 12-month launch, right? And this is the way you want it, authors, because as you are launching, you're having conversations, you're developing resources and PDFs and courses and this and that based on these conversations and collaborations. And those materials that you create can be inserted into the book so that a year from now, people are reading the book and they are learning about all of these resources and ways to monetize and groups that you have and offers and this and that. And everything now is really coordinated versus you write the book and launch it and then start marketing. You have lesser of an opportunity to leverage that book to really scale your company. So that's something that I want to bring up there too. Right. And I didn't mean to cut you off. Is there anything
you didn't.
else? Okay.
Love it. No. Great. Perfect.
Well, I feel like this was, I know, way longer than 10 minutes. And I feel a little rushed, Melody, because
we both talk.
I just appreciate your time. So thank you for going over. I thought there were a lot of really great takeaways here. This is just the beginning. So come to AuthorUpLive, pick Melody's brain, hire her to support your social media strategy, whether you're an author, whether you're in the idea phase or published, whether you're just a writer, a business owner, what have you. I'm really appreciating the fact that I am doing this live series for you guys, and I'm learning a lot too. I mean, I literally got this idea less than a week ago and I just put it in motion. I didn't even want a second to talk myself out of it. And I already had a really full schedule, but I thought this would be fun. What a great way to engage with the people who are coming to AuthorUpLive and then give back and so on and so forth. I mean, Melody, a lot of value exchange here today. So thank you very much for coming, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was fun and I can't wait. I can't believe it's 40 days. I can't wait to go.
Woohoo.
Wow.
Guys, tomorrow we have John Lee Dumas, who is gracing us with his presence.
Yes.
King of podcasting. He runs the show Entrepreneur on Fire, which has more than 2,000 episodes published now and is a dear friend. I love John. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. I am asking John a lot about how to leverage podcasting to grow your influence and to have more collaboration. Because if you know John's show, he's constantly collaborating and interviewing different guests, which has exploded his own career. And it has really kind of catapulted him into a whole different way of growing his business by speaking on stages. So we're going to be talking about being a speaker. We're going to be talking about how to connect with influencers that might seem out of reach, and podcasting, and so much more. So guys, that is tomorrow at 1:40 Pacific. And we'll see you then. We'll continue the series, and then we'll see Melody and give her a big hug at AuthorUpLive in June. All right, guys. Great. So thanks again. Leave your comments below. Let us know what was of value to you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.